What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I got something to show you guys in this video. It's not very I don't know how to explain it. It's not very easy to see in my eyes because I'm a BMW fanatic, and this thing is definitely one of the toughest examples of what a neglected BMW looks like. This thing it's pretty bad for what it is. So what I have in front of me is a 2010, I believe. Yeah, 2010 335i, that in-between stage where it was pre-LCI, but still some LCI options. So it's that perfect, I think that perfect mix because you still get LCI options without the LCI front end. I'm not saying I don't like the LCI front end, but I do prefer the pre-LCI front end opposed to the LCI. So this is perfect for in my eyes because it's a full M Sport. You still get the pre-LCI M Sport front bumper, pre-LCI headlights, M Sport rear bumper, but you still get LCI mirrors and you get CIC, which is one of the, like I said, perfect examples of what you want in a BMW. So this, as you can see here, has had a bit of a front end collision. The guy damaged this somehow. I have no idea how. It looks like somebody ran into him or he hit somebody from the front, so that kind of sucks. So that instantly ruins this bumper and then the hood as well. And then you know, that headlight lens is cracked. This headlight, the tabs are broken, but the rest of it is still pretty clean. So it's not that bad as far as a front end collision, but that's not the worst part. This thing has a lot of issues, and I'll start from the outside and work my way towards the heart and the internals. So outside, it has the style 193, I believe, the M Sport rims. Nice rims, right, for stock rims, but he plastic dipped these and plastic dipped them in the sense that he didn't do a good job. There's a lot of peeling there. He caked it on. He painted that somehow, so it's just not a clean plastic dip. It doesn't look good at all, and it's not the worst, but there was a lot of damage on the wheels on the other side where the clear coat is peeling. You can see here where he curved them there, and it's just, and you know, the hubcaps are all painted, so it's not the best job as far as this plastic dip goes, but you know, it's understandable. Some people can't do a good job on their first couple attempts, which is fine. It's just an addition to the quality of this car. So yeah, not bad, but not the best. Here's some of that peeling I'm talking about. Like, the actual paint is peeling here, so that might be why he painted them, but you gotta do a little better than that. You gotta take these off. I mean, come on. And the final part of the outside that I noticed was this trunk. So he has a spoiler on the trunk, but he has a big old dent in the trunk there. Has a lot of little dents over here. I might even have some hail damage technically. You guys see any hail damage there? No? Yeah, he has a little bit of hail damage there. You guys see that? So he definitely has some hail damage. This car has hail damage. And besides that, it really just is this front end here, front bumper, radiator support, hood, two headlights, and the front end would be good. Trunk, you either pull it out and fix it or just replace it. And anyone who saw this car might say, okay, that is still a very nice car. Let me jump on that because I can repair these things very easily and you know, get a nice car. Because like I said, this is the perfect car in my eyes. Full M Sport 335i. You might be thinking, oh shoot, you know, that's pretty good. You know, it's not in the best condition, but it still is a really optioned out car. Well, let me show you something else. So this is 2010 pre-LCI / LCI option. Come inside here, would you look at that? M Sport steering wheel, beat up, but still good, right? And you're thinking, okay, full M Sport, let's go. Pre-LCI M Sport wheat seats that he bought from me a while ago. That one's crooked as can be. It's leaning that way, so it doesn't even work very well. Airbag light, because since he has a LCI technically, the airbag, the seats are supposed to have an airbag sensor in them for the they just have like some sort of airbag system in them, so these don't have it, so he isn't plugged in down there for the headrest. So of course he has a airbag light, and he's gonna have that until he either swaps these out or does some sort of coating, right? Then you look at here, carbon wrapped interior. Not saying it's the worst, but it just, this isn't too bad. But like this, he wrapped this, like who would want that, you know? The dash is actually pretty good too, but as you can see here, he just painted the dash. He just straight up took spray paint to the dash, and I don't know what paint he used, but you can see here how bad it is, and he just did not care. He literally spray painted the whole interior, which is by far one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I'd rather have this nice tan than spray paint my interior, you know what I mean? So that's one thing. When you come back here, painted the center consoles. This is all hard and sticky. Painted that. Kept, this is my interior, by the way. All the seats are. He kept the tan seat belts, black headliner, which is pretty cool. M Sport, but then look, you get this nasty sunroof panel that peeled off, which is fine. You replace that, not replace it, but you just put the fabric on it again, and you're good to go. But it's not in very good condition. This part is the part that gets me the most. I don't understand why somebody would do this and pay the money for it without getting OEM carpets, you know. So as you can see here, he got carpet installed, which, I mean, I guess I'm sure people have done it in the past where they do good jobs, but on this BMW, it is like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, it is not tucked anywhere. It's disgusting here. You have no third, the footrest there, so you can't even put an M Performance one. They probably did have an M Performance one because the M package, and they probably yanked it out and threw it away, which sucks, you know what I mean? So it's just like pure negligence on this car, and he just does not care. It's wrinkled everywhere. It's over there, it's all peeling, so it's pretty bad. This interior definitely needs some saving. You know, if I could be the one to save it, I'll save it, because I got a dash, I got a center console, I got front carpets and stuff, so I could even put back the M footrest because I have one. So I mean, theoretically speaking, I could bring this car back pretty quickly, thankfully, if my brother kept it. Because if I bought this, I'd probably sell it to him, only because he needs a new car. He has that E90, but this 328 is, I mean, the 335i is such a good year and model that might as well keep it in the family. So here is the, you thought that was bad at all? Like, if you thought that the interior and the exterior are bad, check this out. This car has been sprayed. He said something broke loose and it sprayed oil all over this car. Like, everything is coated in oil. There's oil sitting in there. These have oil all through them. Car misfires. He does have a charge pipe, intakes, downpipes, and a intercooler, but I don't think that that justifies the condition that this car is in. And when you're thinking, oh, oil in this car, who cares, you know? It's just oil. No, guess what? This car has a blown engine, believe it or not. 100,000 miles, 100,000 mile M54, and he blew the engine. When he drove it here, the water pump wasn't on at all. It was like making like a light whirring sound. It was smoking. The whole engine was hissing, and that hissing was coming from pressure built into the cooling system that was actually coming out of the back of the head. So he does have a cracked head on this, so it leaks all the coolant. As far as repairing it, I'm not even sure. I'm pretty sure to repair the head, I'd have to pull the head, and I wouldn't want to do anything like JB Weld, especially on these high horsepower or these high performance M54 engines. So he basically needs to send the engine to get repaired, get a new head maybe, or do something along those lines, which is very expensive, or replace the engine. And that's kind of what he's here for. I told him I had the engine, I told him to replace it for him for a certain price. He said he'll do it. But now, I thought, see, for some reason I thought the car had a higher mileage, and I thought it was going to be, you know, a pretty crappy car. But this is such a nice car with such low mileage, I can't justify sticking the engine in it for him to sell it, because he said he was repairing it to sell it. So, you know, at this point, what I'm going to do is actually offer him a price. Earlier, I was talking to him, he said how much he wanted for it. He said after it's fixed, he wanted to try to get 6,000 to 7,000. He does need turbos as well, so that the turbos, the engine, and everything is going to cost him a little over $2,000. So I figured I'm not going to try to scam this guy, right? Because he already came to get an engine. I'm not going to say, oh, it's no good, you know. So I'm going to offer him $4,000 and then see if he takes it. If he takes it, we'll get a new build, new project. If he doesn't take it, then I'm probably, maybe you guys let me know if I should sell him that 180,000 mile engine. I personally kind of don't feel right putting it in there and having him selling it immediately, as opposed to me, where if I put that engine in this car, my brother will probably take this car. I'll probably sell it to him, and he'll have an E92 and he'll enjoy it. And then, you know, for $4,000, you know, he can sell it for $4,000 in the future, saying it has a higher mileage engine, you know, because we're not gonna try to fix this and say low mileage, nice, you know, give me 10 grand. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make him an offer $4,000. That'll save him the 2 grand or more. That'll put him around 6,000. So it'd be like what he was trying to get for this car. And not to mention the interior is disgusting, and that front has that damage, and the trunk. So I'm not really scamming him. It's a decent price for him, decent price for me. I'm actually offering him a little more than I ever would. But since the market is so hot right now, like you guys know, or if you guys don't know, the market is insanely high. So every used car is going up for like 1,000 to 2,000 more, if not more. So it's hard to find BMWs right now. I've had a hard time. You know, my cousin Richie, he crashed his Z90. We're having a hard time finding him anything that's for a decent price. Like people want $3,600 for a beat to crap 2008 328. You know, and I mean beat to crap. So it's like it's tough right now. So if he takes 4, I'm overpaying on the part that, you know, I feel like I shouldn't pay that much. But at the same time, I know everything's hot and everything's really expensive, so I'll give him $4,000. We have the dash, we have the center console, I have front carpets, so we'll actually be able to restore the interior, hopefully. And then my brother does the body work, so he'll be able to repair this front end. Not much body work needed to be done, because we'll probably replace the hood, replace the bumper. But, you know, the trunk, he might try to pull that out and paint it all. He does paint too, so he'll be able to paint the hood, and we'll be able to color match this car instead of wrapping it. Yeah, hopefully we can get this car, and if not, hopefully we get this car on the road at least, because this thing, rest in peace. We got this car inside here. He's here for an engine, and I told him to bring it by just so I could diagnose it, because for a second there, I thought it could be the just the oil filter housing gasket, you know, that might have leaked and mixed, because I've seen that happen. I bought a 330 like that once. Bought it with a blown engine, but it was just the what is it called, the oil filter housing gasket. So I thought, hey, bring it by, I'll look at it like that. And you know, I'll double check, because he said, some guy said, so before you bring it to me to get an engine, I'll look it over, of course, and then we'll see what the game plan is, and we'll see if you need to buy anything or anything like that. This thing is pretty, it's pretty bad. I don't know if you can see here. Let me turn the flash on real quick. So this thing is literally leaking oil everywhere. It's disgusting. It hardly runs. It does run, but it hardly does. Does he have aftermarket downpipes? I think he does. Are those stock? I can't tell. They look aftermarket though. So he has, like, you know, it's a full bolt-on. It's got intercooler. It's got a charge pipe. It's got intakes. It's got an oil catch can, downpipes. Well, not full bolt-on, but close to it, you know. And this thing, it barely runs. It barely runs, and that's, I don't know if it's because of a misfire or what's going on, but yeah. So I'm gonna look it over. I'm gonna clean up as much as oil as I can. I have no idea where it came from. I'm gonna clean the spark plugs, pull the spark plugs, take a look at them, see if any of them look bad. When he pulled up to my house, it was still billowing smoke. It was just bad, like smoke from the oil burning, smoke from coolant burning. And when I tried driving it into my driveway earlier, it stalled twice because how bad it's running. So don't let your car get to this point, please. I don't know. I know it's a BMW. I know it's cool. I know you want one, but if you're not gonna at least take the precautions, because even if it breaks and you can't afford it, I'm not saying if you can't afford one, don't get one. If it breaks, let it sit, you know, save up the money, then get it fixed. You know, pay out of pocket, because then you end up paying for a new engine, getting it swapped, and it's just unnecessary. This engine should not have blown due to overheating. Like, it's just one of those things that shouldn't happen. Now, if you've pushed big power, that's a different story, because you're asking for it, right? But in this case, it shouldn't have. So I'm gonna clean it up, see what happens, and then I'll get back to you guys. All right, so I'm pulling these out, and they are coming out disgusting. Oh, look at that. Dripping oil. That could be part of why it's running so rough. So, I mean, on one end, I want to be able to do more, like replace the spark plug. I guess if this is his car, so he doesn't want to, he already got told it needs an engine, so I'm not going to do the most, because if he got told it needs an engine, he didn't want to pay me to try to diagnose it for a few hours, you know what I mean? He just wants to pull it, but I told him to take a look. So, you know, I'm going to clean this up, clean the spark plugs, get all that oil out of there, clean the connections, and see what happens. But ideally, you'd probably want to put new spark plugs, do a compression test, and then run coolant through it and see if it's actually leaking out of somewhere. But again, low budget, because he is, like I said, $1,600 is pretty cheap on my end, so he knows that, so he's just taking it and running with it. So all right, so it's the next morning, and I got this thing on the driveway. I filled it with coolant. I topped it off with oil, And the last thing we did was, I said we cleaned out all the oil out of the spark plugs, clean the spark plugs, clean the ignition coils. So now, theoretically speaking, it should be fine, which I will be honest, it is fine. I started it once, I drove it here, I'll show you guys now. It does run pretty smooth now. Still has check engine light. Yesterday I couldn't even like push it forward, push it in reverse. I felt like I wanted to die, but now it's actually idling fine and running fine. So I did see where the water's coming from. I couldn't see an actual crack though, but I can see where the water's coming from, so it probably is cracked. So like I said, this guy probably needs an engine. We have an engine. I don't know if I'm gonna do it for him yet. Like I said, I made that offer. If he takes the 4K, it's ours. If he doesn't, then he'll just get an engine, I guess, still. But hopefully we can still get this car, because I love to save this, you know, because this thing, it's a nice base, right? Like, it's a nice starting point. Really nice. M Sport, for the most part, it's still decent. Oh, and I took it for a little drive earlier. It does rip really hard. I don't know why. He has like some crazy charge pipe in there, and it pulls hard. It feels like it's tuned, definitely, but you know, I'm not gonna push it very hard with the current situation with the engine. But I did step on the gas, and it does like launch, even lightly, which it's actually too much boost. Like, it kind of hesitates, then it takes off. So there's definitely something going on there as well. But regardless, it still pulls. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get this thing 4K if he will sell it to me. If he does, it'll be a good, not a flip, it's more of a project. If he doesn't, then, you know, we'll just do an engine for him. He can take his pretty beat up car out of here. So until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.